Hey guys, welcome back to Quality Shot Tennis. Today we've got Djokovic's opening round against Botic van de Zandschulp in Indian Wells, round of 64. Should be an interesting one. Welcome in, guys. Let me know, what do you think's gonna happen? Who's gonna win, in y'all's opinion? I'm going with Novak in straight sets. That was the result the one time that they've played in the past. They played in Astana in 2022, and Novak won 6-3, 6-1. So pretty one-sided. Obviously, Botic, now the thing that he's most known for is that big upset over Alcaraz at the US Open in straight sets. So definitely capable, apparently, of pulling off a big upset. Djokovic last year didn't do very well at this tournament, lost to Luca Nardi. So is he sustainable to upsets here? I don't know. I don't know if it's special to this tournament, because this is a tournament he's won. Like, he won the Sunshine Double 3 years in a row. This is a tournament he's done well at in the past, so I don't know. But Botic's dangerous. Also, Botic now was Rafa's last opponent of his career, which also I find a little bit interesting too. Should be an interesting one. Botic is dangerous. I like watching Botic personally. He's one of my favorite players to watch of the kind of lower tier players of the tour, even though I don't think most people would agree. But I, for whatever reason, just really like his style. And I like the fact that he's not, I like the fact that he's so like just about, he just goes about his business, which I kind of always dug that. I like the Alcaraz like players that really get into it too. That's more how I am when I'm playing, to be honest. Just like when I'm playing recreationally, that's definitely how I am more. But I definitely dig the Rybakina, Botic, Van de Zandschulp types that almost look like almost half like they're just showing absolutely emotionless, even when big stuff's going on, which it's just funny. But yeah, we'll see what all happens. This is the round 64, so Djokovic's first match. It is not Botic's first match. It is not Botic's first match because he already played a few actually here, getting through qualifying against Gigante, Klein. Actually, a lucky loser lost to Gigante, but then beat Kyrgios in his first round match. Kyrgios was injured, but Botic played well and kind of escaped out of danger in that second set a little bit. I mean, he was in the lead, and then Kyrgios fought back, and then he managed to still close out at the end, 9-7. Yeah, it should be interesting here. Both guys are currently warming up. It will be interesting to see what strategy Botic takes on here playing Novak. There's really no... Botic can play a lot of different ways. There's really obviously no best way to play Novak, but he'll obviously come in with some kind of game plan. I'll be curious to see if he does similar to how he played Alcaraz at the US Open, which now that Indian Wells plays a bit quicker, I mean, the conditions could be a little bit more similar to the US Open. It's definitely more high bouncing than the US Open, with the high altitude conditions here. But yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see how Botic plays this. Novak definitely, I feel like, playing more aggressive himself and relying less on his defense now that he's gotten older, and also now that he's trying to, compete with and beat the likes of Sinner and Alcaraz, who they themselves can play a very impressive, aggressive game style all over the court. He's had to improve his net game and, I don't know, his drop shots and just his aggressive, just hitting harder and taking the ball on earlier and not trying to drag on rallies as long. But yeah, it should be an interesting one. I feel like Botic's got a solid backhand. Backhand should be maybe not as difficult for Botic potentially as for some players, but it's still going to be tough playing Novak. The biggest thing I think is going to be seeing where Novak is, where his level is at. Obviously, had a great Australian Open, but other than that, his other couple of tournaments, lost to Matteo Berrettini in the first round. Forget what tournament, was it Dubai, and then also lost to Riley Opelka. So be interesting to see what level Novak comes with here. Volley from Novak. Great first rally. Corner to corner. 15-love for the Serb. Welcome in. If you guys are just joining in, Djokovic versus Van de Zandschulp. Here we are. Decided to be calling this one and be watching this one. Let's go. 15-love Novak. How's it going, Lee? Arrow, go Super Novak, go. There you have it. Serve from Novak. Serve into the forehand of Botic. Backhand of Djokovic. Goes to the backhand of Van de Zandschulp. Backhand Djokovic. Into the forehand of Van de Zandschulp. Cross court. Backhand Van de Zandschulp. Goes to the forehand of Djokovic. Forehand Van de Zandschulp. Cross court. Djokovic is there. Way up high. Van de Zandschulp with swing volley. Good stuff. It's good play from Botic. And that's what I'm kind of expecting. I'm expecting to see Botic maybe not finish the points right away. I mean, if he can hit a forehand like that and really get Novak out of position, that's great. But even more great is if he can find ways to come into the net and finish off points in an impressive, difficult, challenging fashion where his skill in closing in at the net really helps him when he gets into those kind of advantageous positions. Because a lot of players, even at the top level, wouldn't have been able to close out the net right there, especially against Djokovic. But Botic has that skill. So I think we'll see a lot of Botic trying to take a risk and come to the net earlier. Backhand, deep in the court from Botic. Great shot. Going backhand to backhand. Botic misses that one, though. He misses that backhand. 30-15 for Djokovic. How far does Novak go in this tournament, Liero? What do you think? Alcaraz, very impressive. Still believe he's a massive favorite at this tournament. Although Alcaraz versus Djokovic would be very interesting because Djokovic has held his number. And Djokovic has had success at this tournament. Like crazy success. I mean, he's won this like, what, 4 times? I actually don't know how many times exactly Djokovic has won it. He's won the Sunshine Double 4 times, so at least 4 times. He probably has won another time too. I just don't remember. 2011? No, he won both though that year. So 2011, 14, 15, and 16, I believe he won the Sunshine Double. I don't know if he won Indian Wells any other year. It seems likely to me that he probably did, but I don't know. Yeah, he's won it 5 times. Okay, 2008, he also won it. But since 2016, he hasn't been past the 4th round here. 4 times competing. So take from that what you will. 40-30 here. Andy Murray, one of the greatest players of all time, watching on the greatest player of all time. His coaching partner. Or his, what would you even call that? Somebody who you're coaching? His student, I guess. Forehand of Djokovic goes to the backhand of Van de Zandschulp. Backhand Djokovic deeper in the court to the backhand Botic, who it's a great angle that way. Like I thought, Botic hanging on in this backhand rally pretty decently until he goes for the slice. And in a couple of those backhand rallies, Botic was good, like very good, but he wasn't able to sustain it. When he tried to change up the pace a little bit after, 4, 5, 6 shots back and forth on the backhand side, he hit an unforced error. So we'll see if Botic can find ways to open up the court when those backhand rallies get extended. Let's see. Hey, how's it going, Joe? How are you doing, man? I wasn't able to do Fonseca Draper today, unfortunately, even though it was really a blowout, I guess. Wasn't able to do that because I was playing tennis, and it went longer than I thought. So, but I'm calling this one. I was initially going to do maybe Alcaraz, and then I kind of just had a feeling that this might be more interesting. I just felt like I felt more interested by this one when I was like being honest with myself. I was like, I love watching Alcaraz, but I feel like Djokovic's first round, I feel like Alcaraz is going to be good, right? at Indian Wells. Djokovic, I'm just like really interested in his level, and also I feel like Botic is a more interesting opponent than Hallis, just being honest. So that was my thought process. So we were watching Novak. I was thinking about doing Monfils Corda later too, but it's going to be super late here now. I think that could be even like midnight or after midnight, so I'm not going to be able to do that one. But I was able to do this one, so that's what we're going to do. First serve in the net from Botic. Second serve. Botic here with the serve. Double fault. 15 all. I'm so shocked that Draper destroyed Fonzie. I agree with you. Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm happy to be watching Novak. And yeah, I mean, I'm like, I was surprised too. 6-0, I was surprised. 6-4, 6-0. But I was even saying this yesterday on stream, like, I don't know how to say this in a way where it doesn't sound almost like obnoxious or like reactive off of that result. Fonseca could still be, he's very young. It's impossible to say how good any of the young players are going to be, but I really think that I don't know. I want to wait with Fonseca before I really make big predictions with him. Jakub Mensik, I'm already feeling very good about. We'll see what happens. And Fonseca, I just want to wait more to give more time. And doesn't really have anything to do with today's result. Like, everybody has a day like that, right? And Draper is an amazing player. I wasn't surprised by Draper because I think Draper is an amazing player. He obviously is. I think by the end of this year, it seems like he's going to be in the top 10. I think he's going to stay there, which I don't think most people would even argue with at this point. So I'm just going to wait. Fonseca is young. People are saying he's going to win the tournament. I was like, what are you talking about? I just give him time, okay? Give him time. Fonseca is a monster on clay, by the way. This is like his first time playing in these conditions. I don't know. On clay, watch out for that guy. He's already fearless. Lob, Botic is there. Crafty shot, love 15. Great drop shot and then a lob. Novak tracked it down, but good stuff there. Novak wasn't able to track down the lob. Yeah, Novak with... Interesting. And the return was pretty short. Novak trying out the drop shots. That's what I was talking about. But Botic, very good at tracking it down. And then the lob to follow. Showing some speed. Love 30. Novak with the double fault. Both players putting in a double fault early. Love 30. We'll see if Botic can get some early momentum here. Novak, oftentimes his biggest struggles in tournaments are in the first few rounds. So it gives players an opportunity to at least challenge him. And this year, Riley Opelka, Matteo Berrettini, in straight sets both times, they've gotten the best of him in early rounds. Lob, the smash from Novak's not good. Backhand, that's volley into the net. He actually made the overhead, which has got to be a first in Novak's career. We got to get a sound effect for every time Novak doesn't put away an overhead. Like, just for quality shot. I'm going to maybe suggest that to Faison. Like, we need sound effects for stuff. That would kind of liven up the streams. That is a good one for Novak's overhead. I'll write that down. That'd be funny. Forehand return way up high. Forehand Djokovic. Oh, I missed it. Terrible game from Novak. Botic looks disappointed. Botic, man. I don't get. I don't know. He's so funny. He always looks miserable on the court, but he even looked miserable when he beat Alcaraz in straight sets. He leads 2-1. I feel the public put too much pressure on these rising stars of tennis. Only time will tell if they're the real deal. Yeah, it's a really interesting topic, right? Because, like, I was talking about this with the guy who I was playing tennis with yesterday. Like, you never know, right? You never know, because there have been examples of players who everybody thinks is just the next big thing, and is going to win lots of slams or whatever, and you just never know how things shape out. Juan Martín del Potro had nothing to do with him, right? Just his body let him down. Injuries upon injuries. If not, he should have won 5+ slams. He had the talent to win 5+ slams. He only won 1 because his body let him down, right? And then you have like a guy like Denis Shapovalov, who, when he took off, I was sure he was going to be a top 3 player. He had so much talent, fearless guy, just going for it. So talented. Great volley from Botic. He is coming to the net a lot, and this is good play from him so far. So far, it's working. Great level from Botic so far to start us off. Novak can't afford to play at the level they played the last game anymore. But it's an interesting topic, right? Because like Holger Rune won Paris, people were expecting big things. Like, you never know. Bernard Tomic. Like, there's these different players. You just never really know how things are going to shake out. So, yeah, you just got to give them time. Guillermo Coria, if he won that Roland Garros final in 2004, he could have been a problem for Rafa at his first French Open titles, but instead he disappeared off the planet because he couldn't take the heartbreak. It's like you never know. So, yeah, I think just give him time. I'm not quite there where I'm just like, oh, Fonseca is definitely like, I don't know. Like, I'm not quite there yet. I think his potential is unbelievable, and I hope he gets there. Jakub Mensik, Draper, there are these other guys that I feel convinced that they're going to win slams. Fonseca is so new and so young. Let's give him time, and let's give us time to decide, right? It doesn't have to all be right now. We don't have to know. He doesn't need to know what he's doing yet. Just serve some time and patience. Some great angle on these Botic forehands early. Novak needs to do better in the first strike on the return of serve. And Botic has won the last 10 points. Wow, dude. That's an unusual run for a player playing Djokovic. That doesn't happen that often. That's right, because he broke at love. He's about to hold to love. See how long he can keep this going. It's 14 points away from the equivalent of a golden set. A forehand from Novak goes all the way to another stadium. That's how far it was out. It was out by like 300 feet. 3-1 for Botic, who's won 11 straight points over Djokovic. Good start for Botic, for real. Goff up a double break. Okay, let's go. Yeah, Goff was in trouble early, and then she drew level and clutched out the first set. But then, I mean, what's her name? Uchiyama? She's good. She's really crafty, and she's good. But it's good to see Coco finding a way through. Coco is just very good at winning matches, and that's an underrated skill. It's the most important skill. It's actually, in some ways, it's the main. It has to be the basis for any great player to have that skill. If you don't have that skill, then you're not going to be a great player. Period. You need to have the skill of winning matches. And unfortunately, like, I'd say Zverev has gotten to this point without being incredible in that skill. He's an unbelievably complete and talented player with a great serve, pretty solid from the back of the court, fantastic backhand, and just so talented. He's not quick, but he's not the slowest player around, and he's got a giant serve. But he's just not good at winning matches. He's maxed out everything else. Backhand cross court from Botic. That goes out. That ends Botic's unbelievable 13-point run against Djokovic. I'd like to see a list of all the times players have won 13 points in a row against Djokovic. It is not going to be long at all. In fact, that doesn't happen that often in general, that a player wins 13 points against another. I know it's early in this match, but for it to happen against Djokovic, I bet it's happened less than like 20 times or 25 times. I don't know. I could be way off. It might have happened less than 10. It's got to be very rare. Backhand Djokovic goes to the backhand of Botic. Backhand. Forehand Djokovic. Way up high, pretty short. Botic attacks it, rightfully so. Forehand to Djokovic, misses it, just doesn't have the range at all. Botic is flirting with a double break out of nowhere. 15-40. This is the level of Djokovic, though, recently. It's like you never really know what you're going to get from him. People were saying at the end of last year, like, he got injured at the French, but he still made the quarters, and since then, he's been pretty consistent, got to the Shanghai final. But then starting off this year, great run in Australia, but Opelka lost, Berrettini lost. Like, Indian Wells is a real, like, test to see where Novak is really at with his level, particularly with this Murray partnership. And right now, his game is just not there. I'm sure he'll pick up, or I think he'll pick up. He wasn't able to win last year when it didn't against Lucanardi, really, but I think he'll pick up. Let's see. Forehand, it's way out. It just hasn't found the range at all. The thing I will say is that Novak isn't playing it safe, which I don't think that's a bad thing, that he's not playing it safe. Like, he's still going for his shots. He hasn't found the rhythm yet. It doesn't look like he's not confident. It doesn't look like he's, like, in his own game. It doesn't look like he's not confident in his own skill. It doesn't look like he's injured or something, although you never know. He's going for his shots. They're just missing right now. But let's see what happens. This is a bit unusual. Hey, how's it going, Lexi? Good to see you in here. Draper won. Wow. Yeah, lost 4 games, right? Murray might have to rage at Joka. I want to see it, Sean. I need Murray to rage at. I need Djokovic to rage at Murray back. That's what I need to see. Brooksby with the upset. Is that his best win since his comeback? It's only his second win since his comeback, so yes. It's his second win. Fantastic from Brooksby. Talented guy. Very strange player, but talented. Hey, how's it going, Mike? Good to see you. Dios mío, Novak. Yeah. Listen, Lexi, I don't know what to tell you. It's been he's not been there. I mean, in fact, total points won. This is going to be kind of hilarious, I think. Example of stats that you will never see in a Djokovic match. 19 points for Botic, 6 for Djokovic. That's unbelievable. Botic has won not just triple the amount of points Novak has won. He's won more than triple the amount of points that Novak has won. Jeez. I'm expecting Novak is about to start picking it up a little bit. Let's see. I actually feel that the only thing that Djokovic wants from tennis now is another Grand Slam. It's an interesting discussion, Joe. You're putting forth some interesting topics with your comments. And I honestly, Joe, like, I don't know. I mean, like, there's always more to do, right? There's always more to do. Like, there's things like, does he want to pass Connors' number of titles? Like, that's one of the things. Last 17 points, Van de Zandschulp 16. Djokovic has won 1. Ugly set from Novak. Unforced error, central. Forehand, short from Botic. Novak attacks forehand to the backhand. Forehand of Djokovic. Goes to the forehand of ZANDSCHULP. Forehand of Djokovic, way up high. ZANDSCHULP again at the net. Novak can't be giving Botic gifts because Botic is able to finish them off at the net. This isn't one of these guys that's just going to hang around at the back and then Novak's going to be able to build out the point and get chances. He gives Botic 2 short balls in a row. Botic's already hitting a winner volley at the net. Like, you can't be giving Botic gifts. He's going to find his way to the net. So let's see. Djokovic's return has really shocked me here. It's not returning well. Again, right to the forehand of Botic in a sweet spot. Backhand goes out. Botic has won like 20 of the last 21 points or something. This is kind of crazy. Kind of crazy right now. I think that things are going to shift in the second set. But let's see. Backhand's a better return, much better return. Backhand slice. Good defense from Botic, to be fair. Forehand, Djokovic attacks it. Backhand's a drop shot. Botic is there. Kind of a redrop. Ooh, backhand. Novak just makes it. Novak wins like his 7th point of the match. Botic's still flirting with a 5-1 lead here. Novak barely winning points. Murray saying, come on, Novak, from the corner. Good to hear. Novak almost heavy-handed that, but good shot in the corner. Forehand, that's in the net. Novak's range on the forehand is just not existent. Like, he's not there. He's not getting up to it. What do you guys think of this so far? Is Novak going to do Novak things, and is Novak going to do GOAT Novak things and GOAT in the second set and come back? Or is this an upset alert? Is Botic trying to become, would Botic be the, like, how many players have beaten Alcaraz than Djokovic 2 years in a row? Like, that's not a whole lot of players. Because not a whole lot of players have beaten both those guys, period. Or vice versa, beat Djokovic, then beat Alcaraz 2 years in a row. Not even 2 years in a row, but like in a 6-month period, pretty much. Definitely not the Novak Djokovic that existed in like 2011 or 2015, but still Novak. Still Novak that's very capable of beating Alcaraz and getting to a semi in Australian Open. Just not winning points at all. Backhand cross court, goes to the backhand of Novak, backhand of Botic. Goes to the backhand of Djokovic, backhand of ZANDSCHULP. Goes to the backhand of Djokovic, going backhand to backhand rally, backhand down the line now. Finds a weird spot on the court or something. Whatever it was, Botic mistimed it maybe. 15-all. It's about the 3rd point that Novak's won in the last like 24. Yeah, definitely a weird bounce on the court there. Novak will pick it up in the second, no doubt. Okay. Hello. Hey, how's it going, Frank? How's it going, MJ? From a sandy seashell might be the GOAT. This has got to be the weirdest nickname I've ever heard in my life. How's it going, Frank? From a sandy seashell is insane. Your brain needs to be studied for even coming up with that, Frank. I'm being fully serious with you right now. 30-15, Djokovic at the line to serve. Backhand, Botic. Djokovic drop shot. Yeah, Botic doesn't even run for it. Better play from Novak. He's found more of a flow here for really the first time in the match. Genuinely. Feels like he's just been completely out of flow. Now that Djokovic is in flow, I fully agree with you, Mike, and I think that Novak is going to absolutely pick it up in the second set. Maybe like 2 or 3 games into the second set. maybe even flirt with a break. If he can get better on this returner serve, that's just not been there this set. Backhand goes to the backhand of Djokovic. Backhand Botic goes to the backhand of Djokovic. Forehand goes long, 40-30. Game goes on. Just 25 minutes to play so far. A match at a time. I'm awake, lol. Must be exciting. Djokovic is falling apart. It's sad to see. But is he falling apart like for the rest of his career, or is he falling apart right now? Right? Because if truly, Joe, if Joe is right that he doesn't have really much more motivation outside of Grand Slams right now, then it's going to be tough for him to really sustain a good level. Because if he's not, it's going to be hard for him to be motivated at any other tournaments. And honestly, he needs those tournaments to win slams. He needs that confidence. So I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. Novak holds for 5-2. I'm kind of wondering now what other players has Botic beaten, because he's beaten. Actually, that's crazy. Botic has beaten Rafa, Alcaraz, and Nadal in the last 6 months, right? Or like 6 or 7 months. That's pretty outrageous. Wonder if it's like Wikipedia has wins versus top 10, because that's usually okay. It does, but doesn't say like Nadal. This is like only current, when they were current top 10, I guess. Yeah, so he's beaten Fritz, he's beaten Casper, he's beaten Nori, he's beaten Casper twice, he's beaten Felix, he's beaten Rublev. Yeah, I mean he's trying to beat Alcaraz, Nadal, and Djokovic within a 6-month period. That's something that I feel confident nobody's ever done. And then in terms of beating Nadal and Djokovic, even though they're very different versions of Nadal and Djokovic that we're used to, beating Nadal and Djokovic within a 6-month period, that's something that I'm sure very few people have done also. Not that many people have beaten both of them, period. Maybe like Songer or Beradik or somebody. Del Potro, I don't know, maybe. But Del Potro has only beaten Djokovic like 3 times in his career, I think. He was close with Novak like almost every match they played, but he only managed to beat him like 3 times. That's another example of like winning matches and Del Potro very capable of winning matches, but Novak is just superhuman at the skill of winning matches. So winning matches is just such an important skill, because you can be Juan Martín Del Potro getting close versus Novak in every match to the point where like the result could have gone either way, and suddenly the head-to-head could be like almost tied. Like that's how close Del Potro got in so many of those matches. He could have won like most of them, at least a lot of them. But he only won 3 of them. So just the skill of winning matches is so important, which I guess is obvious in a way, but it's not talked about enough. When I watch him, he plays so well. Called age, yeah. Djokovic needs to lose in semifinals of majors. Yeah. Rublev lost. Or final rounds of majors, yeah. Rublev lost? Who did he lose to? I didn't see that. Just now? Oh, damn. To Matteo Arnaldi. Yeah, I mean, Arnaldi's good. Arnaldi is good. I've been saying good things about Arnaldi for a long time. I was the first. I called it. I did not. Definitely did not. Gil Gross has been high on Arnaldi for a long time. And he definitely had his eye on Arnaldi before I did. But Arnaldi is a fantastic young prospect. I think he's going to be in the top 20 in the world for a long time. Very complete, talented, exciting player. He's already played some epic matches in his career already. 30-15 for Botic. He's 2 points away from taking the first set over Djokovic. Forehand goes to the forehand of Botic, inside out, back into Djokovic. Goes to the backhand slice of Van ZANDSCHULP, backhand slice, battle cured, miss hit from Djokovic, just makes it in, lob from Novak. Botic there, the backhand smash goes for the Federer shot, but he is not Roger Federer, and that is the news flash that he receives as Andy Murray claps on. Backhand smash goes into the doubles alley, into the tram lines. 30 all. Sorry, Anthony, I'm on my phone in bed, first or second round early. Then he'll retire. Oh, no, you're good. Oh, okay. I misread it. No, you're good. That's my fault, probably more than yours. Yeah, I mean, he needs to have the health to go far in slams. He needs to have the stamina. And unfortunately, I mean, he wasn't able to have it at the French. He lost early in the US Open, retired at Australia, so it's definitely not unbacked up. It's definitely backed up what you're saying. All right, set point here for Botic. Neck cord. Novak with the backhand down the line, misses it. Botic takes the first set 6-2. Van ZANDSCHULP looking for the upset in Indian Wells. Novak not finding any joy in this tournament for almost a decade. I mean, it's been since 2016 that he hasn't won this tournament. Yeah, overall, this has been a very successful tournament. That's a ridiculous run from him. 6 years in a row, like literally 6 consecutive years. Novak made the semifinals or better here. And I mean, I don't even have to look at the results. I remember these ones that he lost. 2012, he lost to the best match I've ever seen John Isner play. I always note this whenever I think of the best matches I've seen Isner play. Whenever I think of the best match I've ever seen Isner play, it's this one. 2012 Indian Wells semifinal, 7-6 in the third versus Novak. Isner, known as a serve bot, that match, he was more than just serve. He was pretty much in the zone. If you want to see John Isner in the zone or understand what that looks like, look at 2012 Indian Wells semifinal versus Novak. 2013, he lost to Del Potro. And then Del Potro should have won his first Masters, but he had to play Djokovic and Rafa back-to-back, and Rafa actually beat Del Potro 6-4 in the third. And Nadal struggled against Del Potro. I mean, starting from like 2009, if you just go from 2009 onwards, I think that Nadal and Del Potro, I think like the head-to-head was like 8-7 for Nadal, like period, starting from 2009 when Del Potro really became the player that he became. And that included matches like Wimbledon 2018 that really could have gone either way. So, yeah, Del Potro definitely underrated in that aspect. But, yeah, on that occasion, Nadal was able to beat Del Potro, partially because Del Potro just came off a 3-setter against Novak in the semis. And then, yeah, after that, I mean, Novak won in 2011, obviously, because he won like the first 5,000 matches of that year. And then 2014 through 2016, he won the Sunshine Doubles. So that's got to be the most underrated achievement of Novak's career, the fact that he won the Sunshine Double 3 years in a row. Like, if that's not a greatest of all time kind of stat, I don't know what is. But that's pretty outrageous. Seems to have leg issues. Keep an eye on it. Let's go, Novak. You can do this. Yep. Did you watch many of the Oscar-nominated films? I'm not going to lie. No, I haven't. I really didn't. I saw Wicked. I saw Dune Part 2. I wish I could say that I saw more of them, but I really just didn't. I'm going to try to catch more movies this year. I've already starting to do that. I'm trying to watch at least one movie every night or a couple of days. The goal is to watch a movie every couple of days. So we'll see if I hold on to it. But yeah, I can't say that I did. What about you, Sean? Did you watch a lot of the Oscar-nominated films? I know that this year, a lot of people were like saying like, what is that about some of them? But obviously, I mean, there were still big moments in film this year. The Substance was obviously huge. What's it called? The Brutalist was huge. All right, 15-all, starting off the second set. Serve Novak back into Botic. Djokovic definitely, in my opinion, did. I think his serve was less worrisome than his return of serve. He just wasn't hurting Botic at all on the return of serve, if not just handing him gifts. So I think that's, in my opinion, that's potentially the biggest thing to watch in this set. I'll look at the stats after this game before watching how the set unfolds. Forehand goes inside out to the backhand of Botic, who hits it wide, 40-15. I feel like Timothy and Demi should have won. Yeah, well, Timothy Chalamet is trying to become one of those guys that just gets nominated for a bunch of Oscars and never wins until like later on in his career. Like Martin Scorsese as a director who didn't even get nominated for Taxi Driver and got nominated for like a million different things like Goodfellas and Departed. Or no, Departed he won, but he never won. And also Leo DiCaprio is the famous example. So that's what Timothy Chalamet is doing. But Timothy's fantastic. He's a great actor, and I really like the guy. Great actor, really talented, really, really, really skilled. At least Timothy won SAG better than the Oscars for me. 100%. I'm there. I'm with you all day. You could say almost anything better than the Oscars, and I wouldn't fully disagree with you, even though I absolutely love movies. The Oscars aren't my. I don't know. I like the Oscars. That's mean, but I prefer like the Golden Globes. Poor Things was also a good storyline. Could tell would win Emma Stone Best Actress. Yeah, absolutely. Mark Ruffalo is awesome. Forehand volley, Novak put away, 1-0. I love like the strange cinematography of like Poor Things. All right, Novak off to a quick fire start here. Or quick enough. I mean, he puts that away. Botic really kind of gave him a easy ball there at the net. We haven't played very long here yet, just 37 minutes. Let's see if Novak can find his way into the match a little bit. So these are Novak's stats on serve, which is not good. 0 aces for both. But then I just look at this. Like, Botic is 5 for 7 on second serve points. That has got to be like, that's got to be the stat that worries Novak fans, in my opinion. Because that is very unusual for Novak. These kind of stats. Unless he's playing like Isner at the height of his powers, like, no, that should not be the stat. So, or like Zverev at the height of his powers. But like, unless it's that, which it's not right now, I promise you, that should not be the case. Well, Novak has another second serve here. He's actually backing up. See what he does here. He stays in that position, draws a double fault. Strangely, left 15. Big push here, lots of energy, Murray says. It's funny that, like, some of the things you tell a player at, like, the lowest level of tennis is, like, the same things that Andy Murray is telling Djokovic right now. Like, lots of energy is just the classic thing to tell a player. I love that. Love 30. Tennis is just the same all the way up. It's up basically, or not base. I mean, it's really not, but in a sense, you could say tennis is really the same all the way up, but it just gets to a higher level. I think that makes tennis beautiful. It's not perfect in that. It's like it's not perfectly that way, but it's in a lot of ways it is. Mental game is on at this point. Yeah. Backhand goes to the forehand of Botic. Backhand Novak down the line. Forehand of Van de Zandschulp. Forehand of Djokovic, inside out, great shot. That is probably Djokovic's best point in the match so far. We'll see if that gives him, I don't know. Let's see if that helps pick up his level here. Great point from Novak. Strong stuff. I expect the level to just keep rising here. Perfectly placed. And that's all Novak's biggest strength, placement. Good athleticism there, getting up there. 30-40. Van Zandschulp saves that one with the forehand. I don't like that Macaulay brother. Yeah, that's Roman Roy. It's like, seriously, why are you pressuring your wife to have more kids? You don't need to air that publicly. Really don't know why no one else thought it was really ick. I mean, obviously he meant it in a very comical kind of way. So I don't think other people would be pressuring her like because of that. Like, it's also not anybody else's business, like you said. So I just think it was more of a comical, entertaining kind of thing, or that's how it was meant to be. Or at least being said like that in public. In a private setting, it might not be. Who knows? But in public, I don't think it was more than that. But you have a right to your opinion of that. It doesn't matter. um, I think it's valid. Botic misses that forehand wide with a miss hit. So that forehand drawing a few errors there in that game, and Novak does get the first break. That's what I was saying. 2 or 3 games into the second, I said he might get a break. That's what ended up happening there. Double fault for Botic and a couple of forehand errors, right? So that kind of lost him the game. Yeah. And then a great point from Novak, but most of that game was errors from Botic, unfortunately. Forehand Novak goes to the forehand of Botic. Backhand Novak. It's going to go long. Novak upset with himself after that error just because, yeah, I mean, I don't know. He hasn't quite found the rhythm on the serve, and he's expecting to make that backhand all day, but he's just not making it. It's not an easy backhand to make, but for him, it should be. And that's exactly what he's thinking. Kick serve back into Botic. Forehand of Novak. Good shot. 15 all. 15 all. She probably thought it was a safe bet. You want to win an Oscar. The way you put that is funny. Yeah. I mean, he's a hell of an actor. Succession season 4 was no joke from him on acting front, but yeah, probably not. Which I thought made it like a cute kind of funny moment, because I think that's kind of what he was going for. But I think he wants more, and she's okay with a girl and a boy. Yeah, I mean, I just try not to get myself involved in celebrity business. I don't think that was the point of what he was trying to say. But I'm not. Once again, I'm not saying what you're saying is invalid, but to me, I felt like it was not really his intention. I felt like he was just trying to make it a cute, funny moment, which I personally thought it was, but it's kind of my thought on it. Serve Novak goes to forehand of Botic, inside out, backhand Djokovic. That's in the net. I mean, Botic could actually find a way back here in this game. He's in play too. He's going for the EGOT. I saw a poster on the Train for Broadway play. He's in a lot of stuff. He's getting a lot of stuff after Succession, where I don't know. And he's just in so many things, movies. The one that he did with Jesse Eisenberg, yeah. So like, I don't know. He's doing a lot of stuff. Forehand Novak. Botic might get there. Great get. Lob way up high. It's gonna go out. Novak blows it out. 40-30. Good stuff. This guy doesn't play fair. That's how I see it. Valid. I'm not gonna get mad at you for that. Keep driving up, Murray says, thinking that Djokovic is car racing. 40-30. Forehand goes to the backhand of Djokovic. Backhand of Botic goes to the backhand of Djokovic. Backhand slice Botic to the forehand of Novak. Forehand of Botic goes wide. 3-0 for Novak. Djokovic leads Van Zandschulp in the second set. 3-0. Grammys are the hardest for actors, yeah, but it definitely is. It's so funny you mentioned this, because I was thinking about this like an hour ago. Like, I'm not joking with you. I was thinking about the EGOT like an hour ago because I'm reading this book currently about all the the most. It's a book that interviewed different Oscar winners, like even like Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, like really like top notch like actors, directors, everybody. Even like costume designers, like, and they recap the moment that they won the Oscars and what was their thought process leading into it. And it's super interesting. And also, like, they mentioned the EGOT, and like John Legend won the EGOT, and and it's like, yeah, they were kind of talking about it too. It's like you have to be talented in so many different ways, and yeah, music is just, it's not directly linked to acting. They're both emotion based, artistic, creative, but they're not like, just because you're good at acting, most actors are not good at musical stuff. So yeah, it's definitely the hardest. You have to be multi-talented. Kate has a Grammy. They do spoken word stuff. Kate Winslet. Kate Winslet's awesome. And who's your favorite guy of the next gen? So it was Sinner. Now I like Sinner and Alcaraz about the same, to be honest. If you consider JJ Wolf next gen, I'll go with JJ to make it easy on myself. I quite like Menzik. I quite like Artur Fils. I always really like watching Feast, and I always cheer for him. Casper, does Casper count as next gen? If Casper counts as next gen, he's my favorite. Does Casper count, MJ? That's gonna really paint my answer here. Is it wild to say Djokovic is cooked at the elite level? No, it's not. It is wild to say that just based off the first set, though. So if that's what's dictating you saying that, then it is wild, but in my opinion. But if you're saying that based off of, you know, last year he was he was definitely way more inconsistent than he is generally. Didn't play the ATP finals, lost to Opelka, lost to Berrettini early. Definitely at times, like the first set, has not played at a high level. Like, if you're saying stuff like that, like like Rome last year had his quickest loss ever at clay, on a clay court, like stuff like that. Like, yeah, you can make an argument that I mean, it's pretty valid to believe that he is, but just based off the first set, I think Novak is still the favorite to win this match. So that's how I'd answer it. No, the next gen Fonseca, etc., 21 and under. Okay, well, my favorite is Alcaraz from the 21 and under. Next would be Menzik. Is Artur Fils 21 and under? I'm assuming you'd count him in. So actually, maybe Fils. I'll go with Fils, actually. I'll say Fils and then Alcaraz. I really, really like Artur Fils. I'll go with Fils. Fils is my favorite. And then I'd go with Alcaraz. Then I'd go with Menzik. I like Musetti as well, but I think he's like a little bit older. And I'd still go with Fils above him. Big forehand from Botic through the court, 3-15. Still just one break. 3-0 is misleading sometimes. 3-0 can be just a single break, or it could be a double break. If it's a single break 3-0, it's not as horrific as it seems sometimes. I like Rafa Jr. for next gen. Rafa Jr. versus Stefan Djokovic. That's going to be the next one. Versus Jamie Alcaraz. And then, I don't know. You need another one so that we have a big four. I don't know who else to say. And Alcaraz. Just regular Alcaraz. Or Djokovic. Regular Djokovic, the next one. Oh, what a rally. Backhand smash from Novak. 30 all. Novak starting to flirt with a bakery in the second set. Forehand quality in this set, by the way, is a 9.6 for Novak. 6.8 for Botic. I didn't see what it was for the first set, but I'll bet that it was pretty much flipped. Botic's forehand was really good in the first set. Oh, ace. Cool as you like from Botic with an ace. Out wide, so 40-30. He's like 3. Hey, come on, don't go at the future goat, MJ. Come on. Listen, you're just let's not be haters, right? Let's not be haters. What a player, right? Don't be hating on the future GOAT. Here's a question for the chat. Do you guys think that anybody outside of Novak Djokovic is ever going to win 25 slams? Or including Novak? But do you guys think that anybody is ever going to win 25 slams? I'm going to say yes. Right away, I'm going to say yes. I think that's a record that's beatable. I think 24 is absolutely incredible, but now that Novak, Rafa, and Roger playing in the same era, we're able to get 20 plus. It shows what's possible in the sport. It gives players confidence. And if the right guy comes along, they might be active, they might not be. But if the right guy comes along, then I definitely think somebody is going to break it. They need a rival, but they can't have the two greatest players in the history of the sport like Novak did. To get to 25 maybe, or at least it would help. Well, obviously, it's not a definite thing. Like, you could still do it because Novak did it. Joe with the worst winner of his career missed it. I mean, that is the ugliest shot that's gone in the history of tennis anywhere. Bota can't believe it. That must have caught the back of the line. Novak just pushed it. Things going his way in the second set. Very predictable. Djokovic is a different story. He'll be his kid's coach. Yeah. I mean, Stefan Djokovic is Djokovic has said on multiple occasions, he actually wants to play, which is cool. Oh, lob over Botic, tweener. No, but he's there. What speed from Botic. Smash. Botic, unbelievable. Forehand, cross court, goes to the forehand of Van Zandschulp. Drop shot. That's in the net. Botic with one of the gets of the tournament, looking like he's Carlos Alcaraz, the player that he beat in the U.S. Open, getting back to that shot. I'll tell you what, Botic has some of the most ridiculous gets that I've seen. I mean, I wouldn't say that's one of them. I mean, it was up there. That was a ridiculous get. The way the athleticism it took to produce that, got good depth on the lob. It reminded me of the lob that Alcaraz hit against Medvedev last year in the final at Indian Wells when he missed the smash, whiffed it, and then he ran back. Reminded me of that. But yeah, I mean, I would implore you guys to look up Botic Van de Zandschulp hot shot in doubles. I can't even remember where it was. It might have been Australia. I think it was Australian Open. If you guys look up amazing shot Van de Zandschulp Australian Open doubles, it wasn't the Australian Open. He has the most ridiculous get I've seen at ATP Tour level ever. Right up there. He has this ridiculous get completely just outside of the camera view in doubles. I thought the shot was impossible to get to pretty much. Botic gets it with a very effective lob. Botic's speed is underrated. Just it's underrated. Guy can move. For real. He has good sliding ability, long legs. Nadal if he comes out of retirement, but then Novak probably starts winning slams again. He needs the motivation. I think that's why I added Andy to the team. Rafa's kind of out of tennis more than Roger. Oh yeah, well for now, but he only just retired, so we'll see if Rafa does something more in the future. Roger's pretty out of the game too. I mean, he's got Laver Cup, but I don't know. I mean, Andy is right back in the mix. But Rafa and Roger are both kind of, they really squeeze the juice out of the lemon. I don't know how much more they have to give to the sport. Drop shot just goes wide from Novak, 40-30. He's following Agassi playbook, yeah. Serve goes to the back end of Van Zandschulp. That's going to go out. That's an unforgivable miss from Botic. Unforgivable miss from Botic. That was not. I mean, that was a serve that he should have returned back all day. This could be a really interesting third set. I'm gonna say Novak wins this match 2-6, 6-3, 6-3. No. 2-6, 6-3, 6-2. Yeah, 2-6, 6-3, 6-2. I'll stick with that one. 2-6, 6-3, 6-2. I feel Roger's more in crowds than Rafa. Yeah, that's true. He went to U.S. Open. Was he in Shanghai? Watching matches in the stands. Yeah, no, I know. Rafa didn't even show on camera when Murray retired. They show Roger. Yeah, that's true. You know what I love, MJ, is the tribute video for Andy when he retired at Wimbledon. Or not when he was about to retire, what they showed at Wimbledon. That tribute with Creep in the background might be the greatest sports tribute I've ever seen. Like, made by anybody. Just a really fantastic 4-minute video. I really enjoyed that one. Just as a Murray fan, it's so... for a while, I was worried that I wouldn't feel validified or like complete by his retirement. I mean, you got to be content with the career Murray had and be content with what you get, right? But I was like, man, Murray keeps pushing and pushing. He's not getting anything. Like, he's not getting... It feels like he's so constantly close and on the precipice of something big. He's not quite able to do it. But then, Wimbledon, he wasn't even able to play singles. Got to play doubles with Jamie. That tribute video was lovely, much better than the 2019 retirement video, to be fair, even though that was nice too. But, and then, yeah, obviously Olympics, saving match points in 2 matches, 5 consecutive in his first match against Nishikori and, was it Daniel? Crazy shot from Botic. Catches the net on the way through, but still fantastic skill from him. Definitely got some hand skill. But, yeah, and then whatever, I can't remember the names of the next 2 guys that they played, but was it Klegan and Vlops, or I don't know. That might not be anybody. Vliegen and Klopp, I don't know. I don't remember. Vliegen and Klops. It might be somebody completely separate from that. But saving, I think, 2 match points in that one, saving 5 in the other one. Amazing way for Murray to end his career. I think they lost to Fritz and Paul in Murray's last match of his career, which I like those opponents for Murray's last match. I think Djokovic crashes out. Third, 3-6. Djokovic lost fire. Something's wrong with his body. Okay. Big call. Let's see. Looks pretty clinical from Novak now, just like expected. Yeah, I expected the same. To be fair, I think most people did. I think most of us did. But yeah, I mean, MJ, you're calling 3-6. We'll see. I definitely think 6-3 is more likely, but than losing 6-3. Winning 6-3 is more likely than losing it, but we'll see. Forehand goes inside out to the back into Djokovic. Forehand of Van Zandschulp right on the baseline. Novak thought it was out, but doesn't matter. Novak did exactly what he was complaining Hardy did last year and almost looked like he stopped, but it doesn't matter. Backhand sliced. Forehand slice of Djokovic. Backhand slice of Van Zandschulp. Goes to the back into Djokovic. Backhand Van Zandschulp. Great backhand. Forehand Van Zandschulp. Loopy up high to the backhand. Longest rally of the match. Backhand down the line. Forehand of Van Zandschulp. Important point for Van Zandschulp to win, and he does win it. 40 love. I would not give up on Botic's chances yet, particularly in this set. I kind of feel like third set, Novak is so dangerous in third sets. I mean, the 2 matches he's lost this year, both he's lost in straight sets. I feel like Novak always seems to pick it up, right? I mean, last year, though, he lost in 3 sets to Nardi. He definitely could lose, but I feel like this set, if Van Zandschulp can suddenly create an opportunity in a return game, suddenly you never know. 25-shot rally. Not as long as the rallies Boo and Medvedev were having yesterday, but still pretty long. 40-15 here. Appreciate you guys checking out the stream, by the way. And join in for more. And yeah, don't forget to to subscribe and like and all that stuff. Definitely don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. To Quality Shot, ring that notification bell. All that YouTube algorithm stuff. Forehand goes out again from Botic. That forehand has definitely he started off the match hot with that forehand, but now it's kind of gone off the rails. Serve from Botic. Can Botic put this game to bed? This game has insomnia, doesn't want to go to bed. How's it going, Joseph? Djokovic is not scary anymore to players. I don't agree with you, to be honest. I'll disagree with that. I think Novak is still very scary to players. That's a Novak that's beaten Alcaraz in Australia, playing the way he did in those last few sets. The way he played in the Olympics last year. I'm gonna disagree with that, but it's just my opinion. Got to the Shanghai final last year, beat Fritz in straight sets, and Fritz second best player on hard courts last year. Like Novak can still play some great tennis. Wimbledon final, the way he played against Musetti in the last stages of their match, the French, he's been, I don't know. I wouldn't say he's not scary at this point. I don't think that would be very fair to say. Berrettini played fantastic in the match that he beat him in straight sets, and Berrettini at his best is just a great player, obviously highly motivated in that one. I think Novak has probably the highest peak fear factor in the history of the game. Maybe Federer at his best, but probably Novak though, honestly, in 2015, 2011. I think I don't know. I think yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I think. So I think that he still definitely has some of that. Maybe not as much as he used to, obviously, because last year was very inconsistent, especially at the start. But forehand from Votic, big inside out, and Novak complaining to Andy, pointing to his racket. Don't know what. Maybe saying he can't find the ball in the center of his strings. 102 miles per hour forehand from Votic. Forehand, Novak goes to the forehand of ZANDSCHULP. ZANDSCHULP almost comes in. He opts for a drop shot. Instead, Novak gets under it. Botic puts it away with a volley. Good hustle from Novak. ZANDSCHULP's at game point, though. Nadal went out with a whimper. Should have played RG 2025 and retired. The Davis Cup was underwhelming. The Olympics was fun. I think he should have. If his desire was to go out with a bang, I think the Olympics would have been a good way to end it, honestly. For singles, the match against Djokovic was very exciting. I felt like that was a great way to kind of close things out. Got to a clay final, lost to Borges after Roland Garros, so I think it was nice for him to get to one more final. So, because that was that after or before Roland Garros? Maybe that was before. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up. Swedish Open. When were the dates for that? Pretty sure it was the Swedish Open. No, that was after. So yeah, I reckon playing after Roland Garros was good for him, but yeah, just Davis Cup was a whimper. Even Roland Garros was a bit of a whimper. He played great against Zverev, but didn't win a single set at that tournament. Novak yelling at Andy. Just going at him. We're going at his box. Just frustrated. Advantage to Botic. Murray's thinking, I don't know. I don't have a good joke lined up, but Murray's like, I don't know. I have half jokes lined up. It's like Murray's like, hey man, I beat you in the Wimbledon final. I'll come back to the tour. I'll beat you again. That'll be it for me today. He loses early to unknown players, though. That's true. Does Djokovic still do the crazy eyes during matches that used to be a secret weapon? That's what's the problem. That's when when Alcaraz is playing badly, he doesn't smile. When Djokovic is playing badly, he doesn't do the crazy wide open eyes thing. That's how you know when the best players in the world are not playing at their best. When Sinner smiles, you know that something's wrong. You can tell from their facial expressions. When Federer gets angry, you know that something's wrong. When Rafa, I don't know with Rafa. When Rafa doesn't say vamos or get pumped up, you know something's wrong. He plays better in slams, but used to be unbeatable and invincible. Well, I mean, yeah, nobody would argue that he's not as, like, he's as good. Nobody would argue he's as good as he used to be. Last year, didn't win title except Olympics. Definitely true. Am I wrong? No, I think partially you're right. Rafa got injured, could never recover like his good friend Roger. I think the point you're making is valid, but I disagree with parts of it. I'm not going to lie. Like, I think Novak's fear factor is still there, even despite it all. I mean, he's the greatest player of all time. I mean, essentially, he's better than Roger or Rafa, even. I mean, statistically. Like, Novak is just a different monster than anybody the game has ever seen. So if you're stepping up against that, you know that randomly can still perform just absolutely amazingly. So I think the fear factor always has to be there. Forehand to the backhand, Novak. Forehand, Novak defending way behind the baseline. Lob goes to the forehand. I mean, Botic makes an absolute mess of that forehand. That was... I think Novak is trying to block himself from the sun. He's got his cap worn in a pretty strange fashion. Then you can't see with the sun. The shadows are awful. So Botic's got to just hang tough and not make easy errors. Novak looks ridiculous, but whatever works to get the W. Forehand goes to forehand. And Botic, who completely chokes at the end there with a couple of horrific forehand errors. Novak is unbeaten with the silly hat look. How's it going, Joe 512? Rafa has his ticks, yeah. Well, if the fear factor is there and he's losing, that's even worse. Fair. I can't say that's not fair. I'm trying to excuse his losses by saying his opponents, especially Sinner and Alcaraz, are not afraid of him. Yeah, I mean, well, Alcaraz is, though. I think that's the best case for what I'm saying, is that I think Alcaraz is a little bit afraid of Novak, right? Sinner is not. Sinner has no fear for Novak, right? I think that is the key for Sinner, and that's why Sinner is going to maybe be just one of two players that ends up with a winning head-to-head at the end of the day against Novak. Andy Roddick and Jannik Sinner. Right now, Roddick is the only guy with a winning head-to-head over Novak. That's actually played a decent number of times. Novak could go for a tweener, opts for this weird pancake shot over his head. This should be a winner. Van ZANDSCHULP feeds it right back to Novak overhead practice. Novak with a forehand into the bottom of the net. Love 15. But Alcaraz does have a fear factor against Novak. I think that's the best case for what I'm saying. I think people are still scared of Novak. Opelka isn't scared of anything. That you can tell. Opelka just doesn't care about anything. He's not going to be scared of Novak. He's not going to be scared of anybody. And he's got the serve that's always going to give him a lot of confidence. Had a crazy service day. Berrettini just played some of the best tennis of his life. But in general, since like the French Open last year, Novak isn't usually like going out early against players. I think players, especially after that Olympics final, I think the fear factor is just going to stay, because when Novak nobody expected at 37 for anybody to be able to play at the level Novak produced that Olympics final. So Novak is clearly capable of playing the best tennis anybody of a certain age has ever played, and the level Novak played against Alcaraz in Australia. So I feel pretty strongly that the fear factor is still there. I'm not going to lie. When Novak's done, a line, yeah. But that's just my opinion, but I think Sinner is the one guy who's just not scared of Novak. No fear. And he shouldn't be. He beat him, I think 3 times in a row, including that Davis Cup win, which was essential. Forehand goes to the forehand of Novak, back into Botic down the middle. The forehand of Djokovic. Big to the forehand of ZANDSCHULP, forehand of Djokovic on the line. Back in ZANDSCHULP, cross court, drop shot. Novak knows it's bad right away. 15-40. It's a double break point for Botic out of nowhere. This game has turned around exactly because Novak has the mental edge at this point. He has the experience his opponent doesn't. It's clear as day. That and also the forehand difference. The forehand difference, and also Novak's doing a little bit better on the return of serve. Those things I would say the most. I think the forehand thing is particularly notable. Botic's has gotten worse. Novak's has gotten way better. I think that partially has taken away the confidence of Botic. I was pretty surprised by how strong Botic's forehand was in the first set. And Novak just hadn't found his range yet with that shot. What was the moment you thought Novak was going to end up with the most slams? You guys are asking some good questions in the comments today. Some good topics to bring up. Keep it up. It's a good question, Mike. I think, that's a good question, Jamie. Yeah, Jamie, I think, bad error from Novak. Just starting to fall out of the flow a little bit, Novak almost. What was the moment I thought Novak was going to end up with the most slams? It's a good question because it's really hard to say. I'll think about it. It's a question for this next changeover. Backhand, Botic, right on the baseline. Novak misses it long, so Botic. Novak better be careful. Hits a ball, I think, into the crowd. It's going to get a warning for that, I think. I think he is. Maybe not. Maybe the umpire didn't see it because that should be a warning, right? Anyway. What was the moment I thought Novak was going to end up with the most slams? It's a really good question because even 2019, it looked like Roger was going to get 21, and Novak was at what? Novak was... Oh, okay, I missaw it. So Novak didn't hit it into the crowd. That's my fault. He hit it at the ground. The camera angle was weird. I thought it flew up. It actually went down. I think he mishit it, actually, the way he hit it. But was the Fed Wimbledon win saving match points for me? RG 2021. Yeah, so let me think. So at that point, when Federer had championship point in 2019, even though nobody, including myself, wants to think about that. But at that point, Federer was about to get to 21. Djokovic had how many less than 24? How many did he win from that point? He won one. Won Australian Open 2020. He won 3 out of the 4 in 2021. He won Wimbledon 2022. He won 3 out of the 4 in 2023. So yeah, he's won 9 since then. So he was at 15. So even after that win, if I counted correctly, he got to 16 slam titles. Federer was at 20. Yeah, I mean, at that point, I still wasn't convinced that Novak was going to end up with the most. I thought Rafa or Roger could. I thought it was very up in the air. I wasn't convinced at that point that he was going to. But let me think. Yeah, 2020 Australian Open versus team was definitely... I remember crossing my mind. I was like, yeah, he definitely could. No, I think it was... yeah, for me, I think it was 2021 Roland Garros. Did you you say the same? RG 2021. Yeah, for me, it was the same thing. When he came back from 2 sets love down against Tsitsipas and against Musetti. That was, and then he took the title, and then he was going for the calendar slam for the first time. That was the moment for me. I was like, yeah, it seems likely he's going to end up with the most. I think I had the thought, like in Australian Open 2021 for the first time, I was like, It seems likely now that Novak is going to, but when he won Roland Garros, I think I started thinking, yeah, he's probably going to end up with the most. Novak's level has gone down the drain all of a sudden, which is quite odd. Serve from ZANDSCHULP. Forehand of Djokovic. Forehand of ZANDSCHULP. Goes the backhand of Djokovic. Backhand slice of Botic. It's the forehand of Novak down the line. Backhand. Novak leaves the volley. And Botic hits it long. 30-15. 30-15. Backhand Djokovic down the line. Goes to the forehand of Botic. That's in the net. 2 points away, Djokovic from the set. Maybe I'm misremembering. I think I held out thinking Fed would have it for as long as possible. Yeah, fair enough. As a fan, Nadal fan, the moment I look back to where Nadal blew it was Wimbledon semi 2017. That was huge long term, I think. Interesting, yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, 2017 or 2018? I think 2018, right? But against Djokovic, right? That's the one you're talking about? Forehand. Goes to the backhand of Djokovic. Forehand of Botic. Oh, what an angle. Cross court. Novak, almost an amazing get there. Novak just almost laughing at Botic's ridiculous forehand angle, but great shot. 2018 Djokovic. Yeah, I agree with you. Nadal arguably should have won that match. Very arguable. I think he should have won that match. 7-7 in the fifth set. He has a passing shot, or he comes to net really early, and Novak hits a passing shot, I should say. But he, if it wasn't for that, and Nadal played a better point there, history could have been completely different. I mean, I think that point was absolutely essential for Novak's career. I think it could be the most important point of Djokovic's career. It could be, I think it's one of the most important points in tennis history. Very quick point, but Nadal, I think hits a serve, then hits a backhand or hits a forehand down the line, or I don't remember, down the line and comes in or something. No, I think he hits a backhand cross court and comes in. He hits a backhand cross court off a return, comes in, and Novak hits a perfect passing shot cross court winner. Novak wins that semifinal, beats Anderson the final, and then wins 11 more slams. But if he didn't win that match, I'm not fully convinced Novak would have the slam total he has now. I'm not at all convinced. He might be at 16. I doubt it. But things, crazy things happen. Big forehand from Novak, trying to show Botic now that his forehand has finally found its target a couple times again, that he's got the big forehand on the court. I really think that's what that was. 15-love. Novak trying to split sets. Longer second set than it was the first set, I think. Pretty sure that's right. Not a terribly long match so far, though, in any case. Yeah, just like an hour and 15 minutes, just about. Novak with a double fault. Novak got to be a little bit careful here. He's got a cushion, but not a big cushion. It hurts the fine margins. Oh, well. It hurts the fine margins. Oh, well, yeah. Those matches are the worst, where you have chances and you just lose. Novak hits a loopy short angle forehand. Loopy short angle forehand. Yes. Cross court for a perfect pass. Since Rafa got hurt against Fritz at Indian Wells a couple years ago, he did not recover or heal well. Yes, Joe. Yeah, that was like the final nail in the coffin in his career. And yeah, I mean, he had a good run at Wimbledon, but I feel like, yeah, that last run, beating Fritz in the quarterfinals of Wimbledon to avenge that loss in the final of Indian Wells, that was the last kind of bow on the career of Rafa's prime, or like some of his best years. I mean, Rafa that year won 2 slams, but then he played awesome despite the circumstances in that quarterfinal, and then came back. Fritz was 2 or 3 points away. Novak missed. It's another forehand. 30 all. Very, very big point here. Botic trying to sneak his way back into the set. Forehand of Novak. He comes in, back in. Botic gives Novak a volley, goes for a pass, and yeah, I don't know. He maybe should have done more with that initial shot. He kind of gave it right back to Novak. I didn't love the approach, but Novak got exactly what he wanted from it. He didn't want a good approach shot. Like, that wasn't the right time to come to net, but he was assuming that Botic was going to get pretty nervous, which it seems like he did, and was not sure what to do. And yeah, Botic kind of fed it right back to him. And Novak was ready with volley. Set point. First serves the let. Nadal had Fritz on his knees at Wimbledon. Nadal could barely move. Well said. Forehand Novak. Pie to the backhand of Botic. Forehand goes to backhand of Van Zandschulp. Forehand of Djokovic. Backhand of Van Zandschulp. Forehand of Djokovic. Van Zandschulp defends well. Forehand Novak down the line. Van Zandschulp can't get that one. Big forehand and bigger roar from one of, if not the greatest players that's ever stepped onto a tennis court. One set apiece in the first round of Indian Wells. An hour and 20 minutes in. Good fight from Botic at the end. Better level, so that can make it an interesting third set. Is Botic going to get confidence from that, or is Botic going to think, man, I put so much energy in trying to come back, and is Novak going to run with his own confidence and energy and his level that was way better in that second set? We'll see. Definitely still not an ideal set. 6 winners for Novak, 9 unforced errors, 0 back-end winners, 5 back-end unforced errors. But overall better. His serve points won, still not great. 19 for 32, Novak. So definitely still things to be improved upon. By the way, Van de Zandschulp made 80% of first serves in, and Novak still won that second set 6-3. So that's impressive, and that shows that Novak's returner serve got way better. That stat might not be updated, because here it says 71%, which seems more accurate. That's still very high, though. Both players serving a lot of first serves in. Botic with 3 double faults in the second set. That's no good. Definitely no good. All right, I'm going to step off for a minute. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be back for this third one. Hello. How are you doing, Naked Eyes? I really don't think Novak wins another slam. I think Australian Open was his last shot, right? Maybe, at least for me. I think Wimbledon, you never know, but Sinner and Alcaraz are both so difficult to beat at Wimbledon, I think. Um, I've said this before, but if you take Yannick at his word, he didn't get a single minute of sleep before that Medvedev quarterfinal. He was definitely far from his best. Medvedev played great, but Sinner was far from his best, to say the least. So I think Sinner and Alcaraz in general are going to be so difficult to beat at Wimbledon. And we saw that last year with Alcaraz beating Djokovic in straight sets at Wimbledon. So I don't know. Djokovic at Australian Open next year is going to be on the precipice of turning 39 years old. Like, it's going to be really tough. So I'm kind of with you. I mean, LeBron is bordering on being like Western MVP for in NBA, and he's like 40. So I got Tom Brady is the thing. Like, there are these guys. Steph Curry's doing what he's doing at 35, 36. Like, their longevity in sports is different now, but I don't know. That's kind of it's going to be tough. I agree with you. How's it going, Max? Good to see you in here. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's been a good one so far. It's been fun. All right, Botic to serve. Forehand Djokovic goes to the backhand advantage ZANDSCHULP. That's going to go out. Level 15. Is Djokovic going to put away this third set? Forehand Djokovic goes to the backhand advantage ZANDSCHULP. Backhand of Djokovic. Again to the forehand advantage ZANDSCHULP. Forehand Djokovic. Forehand of Botic. Backhand way up high. That's going to go out. 15 all. No, I mean, we're kind of back to where we were kind of in the second half of the first set. Arguably, I mean, I know Novak won the second set pretty straightforward straightforwardly for the most part, but towards the end of that set, Botic raised his level and Novak's level like notably lowered, like by a pretty good margin for just the last like couple games. So we'll see if that continues into this third set. Forehand Djokovic is in the net. Serve and ZANDSCHULP goes wide. Second serve. I just saw Murray on TV. Yep. Was up with the Joker. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've heard a couple of people saying like that they think there's an injury issue, but at this age, there's always going to be an injury issue. I think it's less that and just not enough match play. I mean, since Australian Open, he's played like one match and just 2 sets. So I think it's more like that, and probably getting used to the conditions. Van Zandsculp's playing pretty well, but yeah, I mean, Djokovic definitely lackluster, but we can't say that he's been that consistent recently. Forehand winner from Botic 1-0. That forehand has found its level again, which is a dangerous thing for Djokovic. This could end up being an interesting set. Let's see how ZANDSCHULP does. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm starting to think that with the way that second set ended off, I'm starting to think that this could be a more interesting set than I initially predicted. I think I said 6-2 Novak. Well, I initially said 6-3, but I went with 6-2. Novak will have to win 6 of the next 7 games. Yeah, I don't know. I think could be a more interesting set than that, potentially. Oh, Van de Zandschulp had a chance there and just waited too long on the forehand and hitting the net too low. Just mistimed that shot. 15 love. The start of a set is very important, especially when you've split sets. Important. It's important how Van de Zandschulp starts this set. Back and drop shot, very good from Novak. Van de Zandschulp, great retrieval and a great retrieval again for the lob. Smash Novak. Oh, ridiculous from Novak with the. I mean, that overhead is really a ankle breaker because I mean Van Zandschulp really that was the easiest shot to get to, but just Novak hit such a weird shot. It was a miss hit, which is why Novak apologized. And it was really a really impressive shot if Novak meant to do that, but he hit it pretty close to where Van de Zandschulp was and with pretty good height, but it was just really awkward and like almost had like topspin on it. 40 love. Thought about the former Dutch tennis player Richard Krajicek that won Wimbledon in the 90s. Yeah, one of the more quote unquote random players. I guess you could say that's one of Slam. Speaking about Dutch tennis players. Yeah. Yeah, I always mix up whenever I see Austin Krajicek, I always think that he's Dutch because of Richard Krajicek. Like he's American for whatever reason. So how dare you be American and confuse my brain? All right, we're at one game apiece here in the third. I hope Botic does keep this level and because this could be a very interesting third set. Could be a very interesting third set. I do remember Botic beating Casper in Miami a couple years ago. Which are not fully different conditions from this. Definitely more low bouncing than this. And Ruud is definitely a different player than Novak, but Botic definitely capable of upsets. Obviously, the Alcaraz upset at the U.S. Open. Rafa wasn't an upset, but to beat him in straight sets with all the pressure he had on him is definitely, I think, impressive. Probably underrated. Backhand goes to the forehand of Botic, forehand of Novak, goes to the forehand of Botic. Back to the forehand, Novak for a pass. Ooh, Botic with a good attempt with the volley, but hits in the net, 15 all. Good pass from Djokovic. Or good, it's not really a passing shot, but good shot there. Good forehand. Van Zandschulp now 9 for 14 on net points won. That number was nearly 100% in the first set. Now Novak doing better when Botic's coming in. This would be massive if Novak could get this break. Really break this thing open, get some confidence. I'm not able to perform with that forehand at all. 30-15. Serve Van de Zandschulp, forehand of Djokovic, forehand of Botic goes to the forehand of Novak. Backhand Djokovic. Goes to the forehand of Novak. Backhand of Van ZANDSCHULP. That's going to go out. One of the most important points of the match coming up. 30 all. And if Djokovic wins this point, another one of the most important points of the match. Let's see if Botic can find a free first serve point here. Novak definitely doing way better on the return, particularly with that first serve, than he was in that first set. I mean, really, both. Jinxed him, though. That was a good serve from Botic, to be fair, but Novak can't handle the pace. Goes, swings big on the backhand, hits it out. 40-30. Good serve. Forehand of Novak goes to backhand slice Botic. Van ZANDSCHULP, the backhand. I don't know if he needs to. I mean, it was kind of impressive. He was able to get such good swing on it, but I think he should have gone for a more defensive slice. Novak was coming to net. That would have been more high percentage, and I feel like that would have done better for him. I mean, Novak's been very good when he's been coming to net, so you definitely want to hit a pretty good shot, but I would have opted just for a defensive slice, but just make sure you get it back, and that's a first serve out. Suddenly, Botic's in a bit of trouble here. Second serve. Great second serve deep in the box. Forehand of Djokovic goes to the forehand of Van ZANDSCHULP. Down the line, backhand. Open stance from Djokovic. Forehand of Van ZANDSCHULP, short in the court. To the backhand of Djokovic. Backhand to backhand now. Long rally. Backhand Djokovic. Again. Now Van ZANDSCHULP runs around a backhand. Backhand slice Van ZANDSCHULP. Ooh, backhand from Djokovic goes long, and that's the first shout of Van ZANDSCHULP's career. He yells, "Let's go" at the end of that. Important point for him. Long rally. That must have been probably like 20 shots. Maybe like 15, 20. Advantage to the Dutch. To the Dutchman. Kick serve to the backhand Djokovic, who handles it well. Backhand Novak, going backhand to backhand. Drop shot Novak from way behind the baseline. Just a poor shot choice, honestly, from Djokovic. Maybe tired in the legs from that deuce rally at deuce. And maybe Botic knew it. Maybe that's why he was so hyped up after that point. But it's 2-1 for Van ZANDSCHULP now. During for Van ZANDSCHULP, her catch also. The two... They both remind me of each other in personality, to be honest. Very different games, but still can't believe Rafa retired. Oh, absolutely. Same. Wish I was good at predicting, LOL. I'm going for Zamba. I have a feeling Novak will win this match. Yeah. It's hard to bet against Novak, right? Drew, I've thought that Musetti reached the semis last year at Wimbledon. No, I wouldn't have thought so. What a summer Musetti had. What an amazing summer Musetti had. He lost in the semis of Wimbledon and Olympics to Novak, right? Isn't that right? Pretty sure that's correct. But yeah, an impressive summer there for Musetti. Musetti is such an underrated player for real. And that is right. Yeah, Wimbledon lost in the semis, Olympics lost in the semis. And yeah, for me, the match of the year last year, Roland Garros, third round. And that match isn't like the greatest match I've ever seen, but yeah, it kind of speaks. I don't know. That match was incredible, but it almost speaks more to how few like truly superb matches we had last year on the men's side. And that trend, unfortunately, has continued on to this year so far. I really hope that the men's side gets to be a bit more exciting. I'm just telling it how I see it. I hope that we get some really exciting Grand Slam finals. I think Sinner getting unbanned and then Sinner and Alcaraz playing in a Wimbledon final would be just the thing we need to really feel like we're kickstarting a new era that can be quite exciting. Or even like Draper versus Alcaraz or something, but we just need something fun, We need the men's side to get some like crazy Like Draper Alcaraz 5-set Wimbledon final. Like, please. Like, something like that would be great. Oh, what a pass! No way! Botic with maybe the shot of the tournament. Outrageous. The shot from Novak was insane, and then Botic said hold my beer. That was an impossible shot from Botic. This man's got like alien legs or something. Like, that was ridiculous from behind him. That might be one of the best shots I've ever seen. That was ridiculous. I think that's one of the shots of the year. Squash shot Botic. Volley, that's in the net, and it could be a turning point in this match. That was a good squash shot, too. That was ridiculous. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like... It's up there. It was up there. That was fantastic. Yeah, that was insane. Musetti against Feast tomorrow. Musetti to win. No, I got Feast. I have Feast. Alien legs. I've got Feast. But I think could be close. I think it's going to be close. I think it'll be 3 sets. Forehand goes to the backhand of Van Zandschulp. Backhand Djokovic. Again to the backhand Van Zandschulp. Forehand Djokovic. Forehand Van Zandschulp. Cross court. Backhand Djokovic. Again to the backhand of Botic. Backhand slice now Van Zandschulp. So forehand of Djokovic. Great depth. Forehand Djokovic. Attacking more at the forehand. Drop shot Djokovic. Botic runs down the line. Lob. It might go long. Stays in. Backhand Botic. Why does he go right back to Novak, though? That was a tough shot. I mean, he had the down the line open. I guess he doesn't have eyes on the back of his head. 15:30. Crowd's liking this, and they should. Getting their money, their tickets worth right about now. I think Botic could have hit that out of the air. I thought he thought it was going long. Maybe he did, but it landed way in. I think he had an opportunity to hit that out of the air. To be honest, 20-shot rally. Bunch of good ones. Botic way deep to return this one. Pays off, actually. Oh, Botic with another amazing get. Lob, smash Novak, put away. Botic is running his ass off. He is running his ass off here. 30 all. It could be a problem, though. Like, I'd imagine he could get tired if he's running marathon every point. But he's going for it. 30 all. Another big point. Forehand of Botic. Wow, right on the baseline. Novak surely thought it was going out. Break point for Botic now. See what happens. 30-40. Backhand Van Zandschulp goes to the backhand of Djokovic, who hits it down the line. Van Zandschulp, great get. Lob. Smash Novak. Not a good one. Forehand of Van Zandschulp just into the top of the net. Great point. Novak. Great placement with that volley. Made it tricky. Good net coverage. Deuce. Hour and 44 minutes of play. He'll be out of gas soon. Same about the. I'm not going to live that call down, am I? First serve into the net. Second serve. Backhand to the backhand of Djokovic. Backhand of Van Zandschulp. Goes into the forehand of Djokovic. Forehand of Van Zandschulp. Down the line. Novak's there. Forehand Van Zandschulp. Backhand. Oh, volley. Van Zandschulp too good. Novak about 15 years ago maybe would have gone the next one, but Novak of almost 30, or is he 38 now? How old is Novak? No, Novak almost 38 years old is not going to be able to run that one down. Great point construction there from Botic. Novak maybe a little bit deeper for that backhand than he would have wanted to be. Breakpoint number 2. Novak confused about the time violation rules. I think he might get one here. Breakpoint for ZANDSCHULP. Serve down T. ZANDSCHULP gets it. Forehand. Inside out. Backhand ZANDSCHULP to the backhand volley of Novak. Lob. That's too good. 3-1 for ZANDSCHULP. Proving me wrong. I said third set might be a blowout for Novak. Midway through that second set. It is actually Novak that is trailing 3-1. ZANDSCHULP leads with a big lob. Deja vu to Nardi last year, because wasn't that very similar to this? Like, yeah, because Nardi won the first set 6-4, Djokovic won the next set 6-3, and then Nardi won the third set. I'm getting deja vu, essentially. Andy's got to hop in and help out right about now. It would be nice if they could do like a, what's it called? Like a Murray tags Novak out. He goes on court instead. Prime Murray shows up out of nowhere and just rocks ZANDSCHULP's world. Murray with curly, crazy hair going everywhere like he used to have it back in the day. ZANDSCHULP took the break point. Yay. 15-all. See if he can consolidate. I always think like breaking is great, but it's all about like consolidating as well. I almost think like, I've said this before, but I almost feel like breaking shouldn't be called breaking. Like if you break serve, that should be called cracking your opponent's serve. And then if you consolidate, then you've broken their serve. Because a break doesn't mean anything until you hold on to it, right? Like breaking is cool, but if your opponent breaks you right back, it really doesn't mean anything. And essentially that would be like your opponent, like you crack your opponent's serve and then your opponent cracks your serve right back. And then do they consolidate? We'll see. Do they consolidate it? And then they would be breaking serve. Or they cracked serve and then they got their serve cracked right back. That would be, in my opinion, a better way of saying it. It would make sense to me. 30-all. I'm not sure that terminology is going to get introduced to the tennis lexicon or right away, but I think it's interesting. Forehand, backhand, and Novak. Too good from ZANDSCHULP on the forehand down the line. 40-30. Who gets credit for the win then? What do you mean? Who gets credit for the win? Oh, if Murray tags Djokovic out. If Van de Zandschulp's up 3-1 and Murray tags in and then wins the match, Murray won the match, okay? So let's make that clear. Murray is carried. He's the MVP. Van de Zandschulp, another ridiculous get. Forehand to Djokovic, cross court. Deuce. I just want to make that clear for when that happens. When Murray tags Djokovic out, if he wins the match, Murray won the match. Not Novak. I want to be clear to prep for when it happens. Murray's probably thinking, I wish I was your coach 5 years ago. Yeah, exactly. When he won 3/4 of a calendar slam 2 out of 3 years in a row, that would have been kind of nice. Take all the credit. Say, yeah, I'm his coach. Without me, he would have won just two slams this year. It's a bad return miss from Novak. Advantage to Djokovic if Prime Murray takes over. At the end of the set, a crack would be the set. Yeah, sure. But you cracked your opponent's serve. It's like, that's still, to me, that lexicon makes sense because cracking your opponent's serve can still be a positive thing, right? You can still, like, that just means, I don't know. I mean, maybe you can make another term for that. If you crack your opponent's serve on the last game, like that could be, I don't know. You could think of something for that. Like you punctured your opponent's serve or something. Like, you know what I mean? But I think this lexicon makes a little bit more sense to me. How's it going? Converted apothecary and whatever you're trying to say. Welcome in as well. All right. Deuce here at 3-1. Forehand goes cross-court to the forehand of Djokovic, backhand of Van Zandschulp, forehand of Djokovic, forehand Van Zandschulp goes to the forehand of Djokovic. Attacking that forehand, comes to net, half volley. Novak's in the net. Yeah, it was going to be too tough. Van Zandschulp playing some good tennis, and Novak is a bit frazzled here. Advantage to Djokovic, long game. Murray was still playing against Djokovic 5 years ago. Yes, but that, yeah, I mean, he was. But if he probably would have rather been coaching him because he wasn't beating Novak at any point in the last 5 years. In fact, I don't think they've played actually since Doha. Correct me if I'm wrong. In 2017. Lob from Novak way up high. It's going to be out. Van de Zandschulp has a 4-1 lead. Once again, Van de Zandschulp trying to become the first player to beat Alcaraz, Rafa, and Novak within a 6-month period of time. I haven't checked that stat, but I'm just going to assume that that's true. Because I can't imagine that that's not accurate. I mean, Sinner's never beaten Rafa, I think. He's beaten Alcaraz and Djokovic within a 6-month period of time. Yeah, he's never beaten Rafa. Rafa 3-0 against Sinner, but they haven't played a single match since May 2021. So, which is unfortunate. That's a head-to-head that could have been really interesting, just never happened. Merden's about to win. Yeah, let me see what other scores are all going on. That's what my specialty is, not following scores while I'm commentating a specific match. I often forget that there are other matches going on. It's hard for me to track them while I'm commentating a match. Ooh, Bencic up 5-4 on Nisimova. It's a good one. I like that matchup. Fernandez versus Christian. Yeah, Merden's about to win against Burrell. What else? Cool. And then night session, I guess. Or wait. Yeah, McNally versus Samsonova. Hurkacz beat Gaston. Cool. This has been an exceptionally strange match, honestly. And definitely deja vu to last year. Forehand. Van Zandschulp, big return. That's going to go out. Van Zandschulp looking for a push right here. I mean, if Van Zandschulp wins this game, you'd think it's all but over. Novak can still come back from this position. We all, I think, know that. But Van Zandschulp definitely prodding. I mean, at this point, you'd probably call him the favorite, right? I don't know. It's still just one break, and it's still Novak. So, we'll see. How's it going, Michelle? Backhand of Van Zandschulp goes to the backhand of Djokovic down the line. Great shot. Ooh, great depth from Botic on the defense. Backhand slice. Forehand Van Zandschulp. I like him going for it, though. That's what he needs to do. He needs to take his chances, even at this point. 15-all. Especially on a return game. Essentially not got much to lose in this return game. Might as well go for it. Try to secure that second break and serve it out. Backhand slice, return. Forehand, very central approach shot. Yeah, that just smelled of trouble right away. 15-30. Saw that coming. That was a horrific approach shot from Novak. He got away with one like a few games ago, but I mean, a couple, honestly, I think, but he's not going to be able to do that every time. And I don't know what he was expecting, or than what he got. You play silly games, you get. What's the phrase? There's a phrase there. Backhand Van ZANDSCHULP into the net, 30 all. Something off with Novak, yep. Whereas everyone watching from, I am in Southern California. Yeah, let me know, guys. Where are you guys watching from? Let me know where you guys are watching from. I'm up near, I'm in Georgia, not the country, but in the U.S. I'm very American. It's crazy. I never really thought about it, but this month, the only ATP level tournaments that are going on are in the United States, Miami and Indian Wells. Never really occurred to me. But it's crazy that we have a month just set out for 2 tournaments, but I don't know. I think like a month like this at the end of the year wouldn't be a bad thing, right? I don't know. I guess the top players don't really have much rest during this month usually, right? It's pretty nonstop because it's 2-week events. All right, we're at deuce. Novak's forehand. I don't know. To me, it's really been like one of the biggest things of this match is like Novak's forehand in the first set sucked. Botic's was great. Second set, Botic's forehand sucked. Novak's was great. And now we're basically back to the first set. That's kind of how I see it. I mean, I might be off kilter, but I feel like Novak is missing a lot of forehands now, and he wasn't doing that in the second. Backhand way up high to the forehand. Novak's in the net. It's a break point for a double break, and Novak better lock in here, or else he's going to have to book a flight to Miami really quickly. Novak, once again, has not been past the 4th round here since 2016. He didn't play a few of those years, but that's still not a great thing. Very similar loss potentially to his loss last year here to Lucanardi. How many more times does he play this tournament? That's another question to ask. Could this be his last time playing Indian Wells? Even if he plays next year, there's nothing to say for sure he plays this tournament. He's focusing more and more on slams every year. Backhand, cross court, goes to the backhand slice of Botic. Drop shot. Botic runs. Oh! That goes past Novak and has Botic just basically secured a victory for himself here. 5-1. It's a double break cushion for Van ZANDSCHULP. Novak hit a drop shot there. I don't know. Something really might be quite physically wrong with Novak because that was a weird shot from him at the end there. Definitely this set has been very weird from him. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's, I mean, he's definitely, at 37, like I said, he definitely has some kind of kinks or injuries. He's almost 38, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's something substantial. Whoa, yep. I'm west of Indian Wells. Okay. I'm in New York City in bed because we lose an hour tonight. MJ needs her sleep. Yeah, get your sleep in. Let's face it, Van ZANDSCHULP's building his case for a Hall of Fame nomination. Absolutely. I mean, listen, like I said, Nadal, Alcaraz, Joker is crazy. I feel like I'm dreaming that Botic is going to win this match. Needs to win it first, but yes. I'm remembering Nadal versus Sebastian Corda. Came back from a double break in the 3rd set in his first round of Indian Wells and then got to the final. I don't think that's going to happen, but I just want to point that out. That was called a double bounce. I'm not sure. It almost looked like Botic got it. Yeah, I think Botic got it. Botic is complaining to the ump because he got under it. This umpire makes so many mistakes. I'm sorry. Same one that it's going to be on Tennis TV, bro. Right off the baseline, Botic hitting a couple of baselines, which I'm sure Novak's going to be very happy about. 30-15. Botic is 2 points away from another victory. This is great retribution for that Munich final loss. I mean, Hopefully beating Nadal, Alcaraz, and Djokovic can give him his confidence back from that horrific Munich final loss. Maybe he can finally win an ATP title for himself. Munich and the clay court season's around the corner. Forehand Novak inside out to the back of Botic. That's in the net. 2 match points for Van de Zandschulp to breadstick Djokovic. Something that happens very rarely. Even Berrettini, I think it was like 7-6, 6-2. Opelka was like 7-6, 6-4. Breadsticking Novak does not happen very often. I remember Alcaraz at Wimbledon a couple years ago. It doesn't happen very often. Even in Rome last year, that loss, I don't think he lost a bagel or a breadstick. I think it was like 6-2, 6-2. Very rarely does this happen, especially since like his serve has gotten elite and his game has gotten like all-time good in 2011. Serve goes to the forehand of Novak, back into Van Zandschulp, up high forehand of Novak, goes for a big shot and it goes out 6-1. We'll learn what Novak has to say about his body, but Van de Zandschulp, a very, very good performance. And shout out to Botic, some ridiculous foot speed on display, good forehand hitting, great serving, stayed mentally tough pretty much throughout. Whenever he got down, didn't get too down on himself. An impressive display from the Dutchman. Djokovic, far from Djokovic-like, to say the very least. But Botic, Van de Zandschulp, yeah, let's talk about the Hall of Fame. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame. Novak out. Opelka, Berrettini, and Van de Zandschulp. MJ called it. You did. You did. I never thought Novak lost this early. He did to Nardi last year, right? Or was that third round? That's actually a good question. Has he lost in the second round of Indian Wells? First round, the very first year he played. Lost in the second round in 2018. Well, who was that to? He lost to Taro Daniel, I think, here. Was that? That was probably that. Yeah, it was. I remember, because that was the same year. He lost in the French Open quarterfinals. Yeah, Taro Daniel, second round. So since then, other than that, it hasn't happened at Indian Wells. Very rarely does that happen. In a Masters, he hasn't lost in a second round since 2022 Monte Carlo. What was that? That was to Fokina. That was right after that whole Australian Open debacle, so I'd almost put an asterisk on that. Other than that, it's not been since Madrid in 2018. Novak lost to Kyle Edmund in 2018 Madrid, which I do remember was a really weird loss. Last time in a hardcourt slam was the Miami second round in 2018. I don't remember that. Who did he lose to there? He had a weird spell of losses during that period of time. Benoit Paire. So last time he's lost this early in a hardcourt Masters, 2018 Miami. If you want to know how long it's been. In a Slam or Masters tournament. Any kind of big tournament. It's been since on a hardcourt, not since 2018 Miami. Benoit Paire. So anyway, there you have it. Djokovic is finished. I think that's what you're saying. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, but yeah, crazy. Hey, I appreciate you. Thanks for joining in. Not the exact score. Some things off with Novak. Yeah, might be the drive after winning Olympics. Could be motivation. I'm curious how much longer this Murray partnership keeps going. I hope Novak performs better in Miami. Shout out to Van de Zandschulp. Good performance. Novak, far from Novak-like, and questions remain kind of around Novak. So that's how we end up. Vote Van de Zandschulp puts off a good performance. 6-2, 3-6, 6-1. Unusual to win 2 sets, losing 3 games in those sets against Novak. And Van de Zandschulp is through to the round of 32 in Indian Wells. See you guys for the next one. Thank you guys for joining in.